BK Retrospect, Black Renaissance, with our guest tonight is no other than Gary Gant, original member of the Invitations. Welcome to the Brooklyn Retrospect, Mr. Gant.
All right, BK.
All right.
Dead Star, do or die.
Yeah, all right, there we go. We don't want to start anything. I want to jump right into it. Gant is part of the Invitations, a group that has been categorized as a Northern Soul, is it?
Yes, no. Well, in our latter years, yeah, we basically went Northern Soul.
Okay.
And that's in the European arena, but we do have like Northern Soul here in America also. Portland is one of the states that usually have it, and there's another one in Washington State also.
Okay. Well, for those that are trying to make the connection, and I'll bring everybody up to speed a little later. The Invitations had a number of hits, Written on the Wall, which actually not just put the Invitations in Northern Soul, but also streamlined them into hip hop culture, because De La Soul used the sample, as well as Professor X of the X Clan for What's Up G, Plug Tuning, De La Soul, What's Up G, X Clan, and a number of other people sampled that particular song, Written on the Wall, as well as, you know, one of your main and major hits was They Say the Girls, what?
They say the girl's crazy.
All right, there we go.
She's crazy about me.
All right.
All right.
That's one of my favorites. But I want to jump right into the retrospect. Brooklyn, I don't know if it's the 1960s or the 1970s when the 521 Club emerges.
Well, for me, my first introduction to the 521 Club was in 1964.
Whoa, okay.
In fact, it was June of 1964. And I would dare to say that in that area through the 1980s up into the 90s, it was like in its heyday, because everyone knew about the 521 Club and most of the boroughs, and a lot of the club owners from other boroughs used to, even that borough of Brooklyn, would visit the 521 Club.
Okay. So wow, 1964. Let's talk about the environment of that particular time. The location is what? Franklin Avenue and Fulton Street, right?
Franklin Avenue, Fulton Street.
Okay, so we have to take our listeners back into that time capsule where there's no Whole Foods or any of those smoothie style cafes and
no
storefronts.
No, but it was a neighborhood, and right. It was a neighborhood. The majority of the facilities on Fulton Street in that area were owned, mostly managed by Blacks. Okay. So Bedford-Stuyvesant at that time was a busy little hustle and bustle place, especially from Nostrand Avenue all the way up to Washington Avenue, I dare say Vanderbilt. The whole of Fulton Street really, Frank's Bar and Grill, which was like further downtown, just before you get to Flatbush, maybe a block from there, all the way up to Utica Avenue where they had the Tip Top Club.
Okay.
So we had like an array of venues. The Baby Grand was on Fulton and Nostrand. This 521 Club on Fulton and Franklin was basically one of the most famous venues in that area at that time. The band There was a house band there at all times called Jimmy Oliver and the Soul Twisters.
Hmm.
That was the house band. And dare to say, we had a MC, Master of Ceremonies, who was the regular gentleman for the whole week, every weekend, and that was Cal Jenkins. So it was a club setting. It was part of the neighborhood. Everybody knew it. There was a full house every Friday, Saturday night, and sometimes on Sundays, especially when they gave the cocktail sips.
And what did that include?
Well, the cocktail sips, believe it or not, it's a bit of a nostalgia, a nostalgic type history.
Right.
Because cocktail sips were always given on Sundays. And the cocktail sips always started like at 3 p.m. That gave the churches time enough to let out people to go home and then come to the cocktail sips.
Wow.
Cocktail sips were mainly held in bars and clubs. And it's, like I said, it started at 3 p.m. They gave everybody time enough to get to the club. And it was basically all held on Sundays. And it was individuals, like you and I could get together and rent a club, rent a bar, and we would give a cocktail sip, and we would charge X amount of money to get in through the door.